Joining me now, Sara Nelson. She's one of the few non-elected officials who has worked behind the scenes with Congress on coronavirus relief bills. She's the co-chair of the Biden-Sanders Unity Task Force on the Economy, and she's the president of the Association of Flight Attendants, CWA. Sara, you are closer to this than most people are, both as a union leader and as someone who was actually at the table. But the table appears to be closed for now. Is there anything going on? Is there any likelihood of more relief coming from Capitol Hill anytime soon?
Inaction is not an option, Ali. For the people that I represent in the airline industry, we are looking at mass furloughs on October 1st if Congress does not act this week. We are hearing actually that there is incredible bipartisan support to get a deal done, but the leadership has not been encouraging getting that relief in place. So, for example, with the airline industry workers, our jobs are at risk solely because of coronavirus. This is not about failed business plans. This is that the demand does not exist. The airline industry demand is hovering right around 30% right now, and we are expecting actually that that is going to get worse as we get into the fall and we have more problems with coronavirus because we're not being honest about the fact that we don't have this pandemic under control. So we're going to continue to be threatened with our jobs and the industry itself. When those layoffs happen, we will also see a cut to rural communities, to small airports. Those airports support jobs as well. Normally, 750,000 U.S. airline jobs support 11.4 million jobs in the economy. So there is a ripple effect. We know that with the plus up of the $600 gone, that is also going to have an impact on people losing their jobs. We know that if coronavirus relief is not in place, we are not going to have the funds to keep up the sanitation in our cities, to keep up the public transportation in our cities. And people are making decisions right now to sell their cars, break their leases, or they're behind in their mortgage payments. We're going to see foreclosures. There is going to be another wave of hurt. And there are people who are stressed out right now, not knowing how they're going to put this together, understanding that they're going to be losing their health insurance and facing terminal illnesses that they're trying to get help for. There are people who don't know where to turn, and the depression is mounting. And this is really concerning going into Labor Day when we are supposed to be celebrating the economic engine that is the American worker. And instead, we are leaving them behind.
One of the reasons that Mitch McConnell has cited for not moving forward on a new plan is that a number of his caucus members are concerned. We've just heard news this week that the U.S. debt has reached the level of the entire size of the economy. Debt's going up too fast. Deficits are going up too fast. Literally, they are saying enough is enough. It's a little strange that after running up the debt on wars and tax cuts, we've decided that giving $600 to individuals is the bridge too far.
Ali, even if you subscribe to the deficit myth, which is a myth because for every deficit with the U.S. government, it's a surplus for the American people, even if you subscribe to the idea that the debt is a problem, if you spend more time to get this relief to people, the cost of recovery goes up because people go into debt themselves and they will lose their homes. There will be foreclosures. There will be problems for the banks. There is going to be a higher cost for this. And for every single person who can't pay those student loans, who can't pay that mortgage payment, they are going to be increasing their personal debt, which means that when they get those jobs back, when they get a way to get income back, they're going to be paying that into the debt rather than into the economy. So this is absurd. Take our plan, for example. The airline industry plan kept people in our jobs. It could only be spent on our pay and benefits. It continued service to all of our communities. We continued to pay back into the economy, and that was a plus to the American citizens. That was a good use of public funds. If Congress does not spend right now, it is going to be catastrophic. And I am hearing even from fiscal conservatives that they understand that. There is widespread support for a bill because of these reasons, and the American public simply has to demand it. We are out at congressional offices all over the country hosting protests right now, saying to Congress, inaction is not an option for the American people. It is not an option for the people that this government is supposed to be taking care of. You need to act right now. And there is widespread support for that bill, and Americans need to know that you can demand it.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. Working Americans buy things, keep jobs going, and pay taxes. That's generally speaking how we want things to work. Sara, thanks for the work that you've done. Sara Nelson is the co-chair of the Biden-Sanders Unity Task Force on the Economy and the president of the Association of Flight Attendants.